Coach Wilson is going to talk about really just being a very good assistant and having aspirations as a head coach. He has come very highly recommended from my two Louisiana friends, and I'm looking forward to listening to this. And I don't think I really have anything else in terms of a deal. Coaches, like I said, keep asking questions in the comments below. If you want to share the link with anybody, share the link with anybody. But the up next is the Run Game Corner at North Desoto High School in Louisiana. Coach Christopher Wilson. Coach, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, man. First off, man, I want to appreciate the recommendation. I've pretty much here in Louisiana given the I've assumed the title of helping coaches become coaches. Being a coach is something I've always been passionate about. This is the only thing I've ever wanted to do. I've wanted to coach since I was in the second grade. So, having the opportunity to now kind of take the things that I've experienced in my short coaching career, this is only year 15 for me, and helping guys all over the country, really trying to get their feet in and be a listening ear is something that I've pride myself on being. So like you said, I'm Christopher Wilson. I'm the run game coordinator at North Desoto High School in about 20 minutes south of Shreveport. This is finished up my second year there, and the 2 years I've been there, we had a record of 23-4, a state championship runner-up, and a semifinal appearance this past season. And so here's how you contact me. I'm Mr. Coach Wilson on everything. If you type in Mr. Coach Wilson, you put it all together. That's pretty much where you'll find me. And I've given my phone number as well, so that, if you find me on Twitter, if you've already seen me on Twitter, I'm talking coach stuff or talking about my kids. If it's quiet in my house, it's because we just, my twins just had their first birthday party. So we're still kind of winding down from that. So to get into it, again, dream chasing with purpose, being about balance and being a quality assistant with having head coach aspirations. Just real quick rundown of my career. So I started my career fresh out of college at Green Oaks, and I was there for 6 years. We had 5 head coaches in 6 years. So if you're, what kind of got me on this path was being accustomed to turnover. My very first year, we had a legend, a Grambling Hall of Famer, Steve Dennis, and I was standing next to him on the sideline, and he said, "Chris, I'm done. Y'all can have it. I'm gonna give it. This is a young guy's game. I'm old. I'm tired." And then we had a guy come in from out of town. He was there for 2, and then the next year we had a guy every year. So getting accustomed to transition, and after about those 6 years, I was ready to kind of strike out on my own. I was being baby brother to everyone, so I went over to BTW and I served as a co-offensive coordinator. An opportunity came up to work for one of the best guys in our area, Mike Green with an E, at Fair Park to be his offensive coordinator. And I was falling in love with the place. We find out in April, they're shutting the school down. So we have to pack up everything. We end up back at BTW for a year. Coach Green's father passes away. He kind of gives me the keys to the ship. I'm running the program. Everything going well. I go to talk to the principal at the time. I asked her, there hadn't been an interview process, hadn't been anything put in place. I'm running the program. I asked her, am I going to be able to take over as the interim into the next season? And she said, don't pass up for sure opportunity for maybe. And I took that as my key to leave. So I ended up getting an opportunity at Mansfield. I served there for 2 years as the offensive line coach, right-hand man to the head coach and the head baseball coach. Then COVID hit. And Plain Dillon called, and it gave me an opportunity, really, really small town. I was the head coach there for 2 seasons. We never dressed more than 20 kids in a year. We played 8 games. The COVID year, made the playoffs at 3-5. I tested positive for COVID the Saturday after the game. So we had to opt out of the playoffs. And then the next year, we had a decent group of seniors that year. We dressed about 18 kids all year. We made the playoffs at 2-8. and then got, knocked out of the playoffs. And so after that, I was kind of drained, and I wanted a fresh start. I wanted an opportunity to compete. I got an opportunity with Dennis Dunn, and if you're familiar with Dennis Dunn, he was the head coach at Evangel in the 90s, 8 state championships. You name it, he's done it. And he said that he wanted somebody like me on his staff, and I felt it was flattering. And knowing his history, there really hasn't been a guy like me to serve on his staff. So the first year I was offensive line coach. Last year I was a running back coach, and I've had the title of quote unquote run game coordinator. So, these are the questions that I ask all my coaching friends when they contact me and they ask me, about being an assistant and wanting to be a head coach. Why do you want to be a head coach? What is it about that position that gets you excited? Well, for me, it's just the tone setting process of being a head coach that excites me. I love watching my head coach right now set the tone for the team every day, set the tone for the coaching staff every day, having guys excited to work under him, to serve him, and being a quality assistant. I think that comes from being under a head coach that loves people, understands that kids are the lifeblood of what we do, and making sure that we put kids in a position to be great, not only on the field, but in life as well. Are you working under coaches that will make you better? Are we settling? Are we taking any opportunity that comes across our desk? Are we front runners? Do we want to only work in programs that win? I didn't win. I didn't have a winning season until my 11th year coaching. My first year at Mansfield, we went 8-4, and that was the first time I made the playoffs. And I had coached 100 games as an assistant. So, being able to work in struggle, being able to work where you don't have the amenities, you don't have the money, you don't have the athletes, are things that will make you better going forward. Can you develop the attributes that head coaches need? You have seen, if you're working under good guys, you know what they do well, you know what they don't do well. Are you developing those attributes? Are you making sure that you're putting yourself in a position to be the coach that you aspire to be? And then once you get those questions asked, what kind of head coach are you? Are you a CEO that's going to delegate? You empower your assistants to work. You give them the tools that they need, and you turn them loose. You let them go. Are you a scheme genius? Are you an offensive juggernaut? Are you a defensive juggernaut? Which one of those things do you do well? I wanted to become a better special teams coach after being a head coach. I was an offensive line guy. I was a run game guy. That's what excited me about this clinic to begin with, because even though we're in the spread, to be able to listen to guys that will get it done on the ground excites me. So are you one of those guys who are just an expert in their respective field, and you kind of turn everything else that doesn't apply to what you do well, you turn that over? Are you a rah-rah guy? Are you the head of the line, jump around, high five? Are you that guy? Are you super stoic? Or are you the know-it-all, do-it-all? You don't let your assistants do anything. You do it all yourself. You burn out quick. You bounce around to a lot of places as the head coach, but you still get the results. So those are the questions that I like to ask my friends, just to get them in the process of, really start to do some self-analyzation and figure out what it is exactly, why you want to be in that position. So I kind of gave you a few steps, or maybe 5 steps. So step 1, easy. Man, do your job. You are an assistant. And as being a head coach and going back to being an assistant, that was one of those things where you're used to having the power, you're used to setting the tone, you're used to all of the kids kind of eating out of your palm, and now you no longer have that responsibility. That it didn't take me long to get back in the groove of being a head coach, because I told Coach Dunn and I told the offensive coordinator, Matt Parker, that I'm coming to serve you. Whatever you guys need me to do, I'm there to do. Whatever you ask me to do, that's what I'm here to do. So you make that your priority. You ensure that you're upholding your responsibilities while in season, while in off season. My head coach comes by my classroom every week. He drops off some papers. Hey, Chris, I need this filled out. Get this back to me. Hey, Chris, do you have the stats hey, what about this kid? Which all-state team did he make? You know, and I'm responsible for all of that. So, you know, making sure you're serving your coach. Number 2, pay attention. Pay attention. Find the things that in the current program you can adapt to your future and vice versa. We don't all do it right all the time. We don't all put our kids or ourselves in a position to be great all the time. And those things are things that you kind of log and you put it in mental notes, or you keep your iPhone notes and you do those things handy. You keep those things handy and available to you to make sure that you are you're writing these things down and making mental notes. And then number 3, be the assistant you want as a head coach. Loyalty over everything. Move in the same direction as the head coach's vision, even if you do not agree. That's what those weekend coaches meetings are for. But when you step out of that field house or that locker room on Monday morning or Monday afternoon for practice, you need to be on the same page. And if you do your job well, if you take pride in being a quality assistant, good things are going to happen for you and to the kids that you serve. Step 2, on-the-job training. Be an assistant. Be the head coach of your position group. Practice. Getting to North Desoto was a program who I've only coached in inner city schools. Inner city, 85-90% Black schools. And the North Desoto football program is the opposite of that. Maybe 90% white. So being able to come in and be myself and coach a group of kids who embodied who I was as a man, embodied who I was as a person, and to love the game as much as I do, is what you do with your position group. You develop traits of leadership that translate to the kid. You develop traits of leadership that translate to the coaches around you. You don't have to be the head coach to be in a leadership position based off how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis. And one thing I tried to do coming in, being that I'm one of the older coaches on the staff, even at 38 years old, was being that we have some younger coaches, to be a guide and to be a model of what they should be. Being humble. Again, I serve my head coach. And if Coach Dunn lights into me, you respect it, you take it, and you keep it moving. You don't wear your feelings on your sleeves. You do your job, and you stay humble and make sure that you're doing what you need to do in order for you to get better for yourself. Adding tools to your tool chest. Find ways to improve your arsenal. I've always coached offensive line. This year I coached running backs. We had 2 all-state guys. Being able to take yourself out of it, I think that goes back to being humble. Making sure that you're putting yourself in a position to learn as much as you can while you don't have the responsibility of leading. That if you're not good in the pass game, then you get around the quarterback coach and the wide receiver, you learn it. If you're not good at special teams, you absorb that information from special teams coaches in order for you to get better. And then still experience. So off the field, what are the off the field responsibilities that you're not good at? Are you not good at stats? Are you not good at social media? Are you not good at communicating? Are you not good at dealing with the parents and dealing with the community? Find ways to get that experience. I've had head coaches that will let us sit in the parent meeting, sit in the booster club meeting, help him do paperwork. And so that those opportunities are those things that we may not think about as an assistant. We're getting the opportunity to do those things on a day-to-day basis, and we're in making sure that we are prepared for the leadership position that we seek. Step 3, communicate. Be transparent, y'all. Be upfront with your head coach and administrator if you're making progress. We have jobs that come open, coaches, and, we have the different job boards and football scoop and things of the nature. I wouldn't necessarily tell my boss that, hey, I'm applying to this job. We can send an application in, you can send an email over, and all of that stuff is fine and well. And, a lot of times those positions are done before they open. But if you get an interview or you get an opportunity to interview, or you feel like things are trending in the right direction, give your principal, give your head coach a heads up. Hey, listen, things are popping off in a positive direction. So if they call you, be prepared. This is what I'm doing. And I think that closes that gap because, we have a lot of coaches, a lot of head coaches that really don't want their coaches to move. You get a good group, you want to hoard those guys to yourself, and you want to make sure that you're keeping your group together for selfish reasons. But if you do have guys, and if you are a guy, that has those aspirations, to make sure that you're being upfront and letting them know from the beginning. I let my head coach know that I wanted to be a head coach again, and I wanted to be a head coach again sooner than later. So I expressed my aspirations from the jump. So I didn't want anybody to have any misconceived notions about me. And to make sure that everybody was on the up and up in the event that I did get another opportunity. And then, don't be afraid to chase your dreams. The coaching game is getting younger. We're seeing a lot of the older guys, get tired of the way that the kids are and the parents are, and they're getting out of the game and it's going younger. So don't pigeonhole yourself to a position just for the sake of saying, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by leaving. I know I'm good at where I'm at right now, but I want more, but I'm afraid to talk about it. I don't know how they'll respond. Be upfront and honest with yourself first and foremost, to make sure that, hey, coaches, look, I've been here 4 or 5 years now. I want more. I'm striving for more. I'm preparing myself for more, and to make sure you're putting yourself in a position to achieve more. Step 4, organize your business. You are your own personal brand. And I think this is what has gotten the attention of my colleagues in the field. I am my own brand. I have positioned myself to be a person who is vocal about the coaching moves. Anybody can talk scheme. That's why I'm honored that I'm here talking about this, because I'm listening to Coach Middleton, and I've met him a couple times, and dude's a genius. And but what a lot of people don't like to talk about is the business side. And I feel like I've gotten pretty good at the business side in the midst of these the failure, so to speak. Before I got the job at Plain Dealing, I think I interviewed about 13 different times for different positions in the Shreveport-Bossier area and struck out every time. And so, with failure comes the best education. Constantly update your resume, your cover letter, your portfolio. If you haven't started building a portfolio, there are guys that do it. It costs a pretty penny. Chris Parker and Chris Ford on social media have been great for me. They're always willing to contact. They're always willing to communicate with you to help you get your business in order so that you can market yourself. This is your opportunity to brag on yourself. You go to these clinics, you go travel, you shake hands, you meet people, get your name out there in a positive manner while still representing your school where you're currently employed at in the right way. Because that's going to carry, because you never know who knows somebody. So if you're in a clinic, if you're bashing your employer and you're talking negatively about them or the school or the kids, that's going to get back. That's going to put you in a position to where you wonder, why am I not able to move? Right. And so I have created for myself 2 different resume styles. And if they ask for something more colorful, this is something that I threw together for myself, where, we get to the point. These are places that I've been. I'm just giving you the title. Then the next page was just a brief snapshot of the things that I've done at the school. And you have to, and so, people say, well, why do you put your record from your Plain Dealing years? Because I don't know how many people have coached a program with 20 kids in the program, dressing 5 7th graders in that 20, and still finding a way to win 5 games in 2 years. Still qualifying for the playoffs in those 2 years. And we did some really good things. So I pride myself on those 5 wins, because it is very hard to run a program and have aspirations to win when you are not dressing the kids that are needed in order for you to be successful. And then parlaying that into a position at a school like North Desoto, where we have experienced the success that we have in the last 2 years. And that's a testament to the coaching staff and to the kids all getting under the same banner and everybody moving in the same direction. And then your last step, seal the deal. You promote yourself, you interview, you kill it. They offer you a job. You can't start until later. Now it's time for you to close those doors of where you're at. Everything that you're responsible for completing before you leave, whether it was a 3-month timeline or a 2-week timeline, you leave that stuff better than where you found it. you get everything done that you need to get done, because the guy that comes in and takes your place, or the assistant coaches that are left to pick up the pieces, will come in, and you want that program to flow seamlessly upon your departure, right? And I think, again, that goes back to being a quality human being. If you put in a 2 week notice, that's not the time for you to shut down and not do anything and just start turning your attention to the next place. That 2 week notice is you to close up the gaps of the things that you were currently doing at your school. So you're closing out all of your incomplete tasks. You're having the conversations with the kids that you feel the need to discuss. You're having a debriefing with your head coach, or your offensive coordinator will be in my case, because he's my superior. And just talking about, I've always wanted to know what have I done that needs work? Where can I get better? What are some things that I did well that I can tweak a little bit to take to this new place? Because as you see, and like I said, I've moved around a lot. And I was chasing opportunities. I wanted to be an offensive coordinator. I wanted to be a head coach. I've been a head coach for 4 different sports in these 15 years, football, baseball, basketball. I'm head powerlifting coach now. And so I've been able to take those pieces from all of those things and kind of create a scheme, if you will, in my head of how I want things to go. But for the people that watch you every day, the people that work with you every day, they're going to provide you a different perspective of who you are and what it is you need to do in order for you to be successful at the next spot. And so that's sealing the deal to me, is cleaning up and making sure you got everything taken care of, and leaving your spot where you are in a positive light. Because if you've done it right, if you've been a quality assistant, you're going to leave a hole when you leave. I've hated to see coaches leave staff that I was on and the kids rejoice. Man, I'm so glad he gone. Man, he was the worst. And then all the truth comes out about how they felt about the person. And I wanted to make sure that in my movement, that when I left, the kids were upset. The kids' feelings were hurt. How can you leave me? That would let me know that you're doing things in the right way, in the right manner. Just to, again, to ensure that you, as a person, as a coach, as a man, are doing things the right way and walking in the right direction. Okay. So, like I said, I wanted to leave some time, for transition. I want to leave some time for questions. So again, yes, I got my face as a cartoon, because again, nobody can promote me better than I can. Nobody can brand myself better than I can. So, I've kind of taken, this goofy picture that I took that a friend turned into a cartoon, man, and kind of made it my thing. So I appreciate you guys' time. And if you have any questions for me, feel free. If, follow me on Twitter, send me DMs, email me anytime. I also can create those snapshots and things of that nature, so, just be a quality man, be a quality coach, serve your kids first. That's the most important thing. If you're not about the kids, you're in the wrong profession. And I've given my life to these kids and to building the game of football in the right direction for the Shreveport-Bossier area. And hopefully with this opportunity, expanding my brand and expanding my quote unquote expertise to the coaches around the nation. So you guys, I appreciate your time.
Well, Coach, I appreciate. Because I know you're using, I think, Canva for this, anyways. So
correct.
And like I said, you mentioned Coach 4 on there. How much are you using stuff like Canva and other graphics to help promote yourself? Because obviously this is and promote the program you're working for. Because I use, obviously I'm a head coach and I use a lot of various graphic stuff, but Canva particularly to help make graphics for our program and our kids. How much are you using stuff like that to help not only promote yourself, but promote the program that you're using?
That's what I use. I use Canva primarily. When I was at Mansfield, I found Snapseed, and Snapseed was really, really basic. But when my wife introduced me to Canva, I started tinkering with it, and I got to the point where I felt like I was producing quality content. And so when I got over to North Desoto, they said, well, hey, we saw you on social media. We know you're good at social media. Here's our social media. Go have fun. and that's pretty much how it went. So from the schedules, from the all district selections, from if the kids want anything done specifically or personally, I do all of that on Canva. And I want them to feel comfortable enough with me to say, hey, coach, here's my 3 best pictures. Go make something happen for me. I've done this past year, we did a prospect flip book, kind of like this presentation, with their huddle QR codes on it, stats, any accolades that they received throughout the year. And we signed 6 kids this year. And I would like to think that presentation kind of helped them, because everything that they needed for that kid, for his recruitables, his measurements, were all on that slide. So,
okay.
So I've been using Canva pretty much primarily.
Okay, perfect, Coach. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. Coaches, as kind of Coach said, whether you're watching us after the fact or during, because like we've had over 200 different coaches on so far. If you can find Coach on Twitter or email him, I know on most social media accounts is Mr. Coach Wilson, as Coach kind of mentioned earlier. Do not hesitate to reach out to him, whether it's about stuff like this or offense-specific topics. Like I said, Coach did a great job, and kind of let Coach. I mean, we're going to kind of we got a couple minutes, but we're going to start transitioning our next speaker. Coach, thank you again, and I appreciate you coming on and talking to everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Coach.